Look like you're fucking bringing a plane in.
I didn't want to look.
Look like you're bringing a plane in.
Yeah, we're good to go. Okay, now.
Welcome back, Mr. Ben Fanning. A round of applause, everyone, for Ben. Yeah, he's back in the house. Woohoo! Mr. Ben Fanning. Mark's like, oh, you fucked the mic.
Yeah.
It's time he's back in there. I've missed you.
Man, it's been when was it? April, May? Been a while.
Before that, mate.
I think it was April. Oh no, maybe it was. You're right. Yeah, March. Damn. Time flies, eh?
Time flies. But you're back.
With a vengeance.
With a vengeance. Looking smart.
Yeah. Well, just
black on
for
black.
Before pre-roll, we were talking about how smart you were looking, and you ain't got no shady jumper on, but you have got Ron Burgundy. I know you're a fan of his.
Ron Burgundy and Baxter, mate. Yes. That's the camera. Can the audience see? Baxter?
Yeah,
Baxter, is that you? Back once if you're in Milwaukee.
Why do you come up with that shit? It's crazy.
For you. I love quoting films, Ben. I've been watching Meet the Fockers this week, and I tell you what, mate, that's full of lovely little one-liners for me.
You got a good recall and shit like that.
You know, you've seen it. Everybody's in it.
Yeah.
Can I? You want to honk the horn, Greg? Yeah. Only the captain honks the horn, Greg. Do you want to wear the captain's hat?
Mate, he's a legend.
That's brilliant. I love it.
What was the other one? Zoolander, you remember that?
I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched that?
Nah.
Okay, no.
So tell me, Mr. Fanning, what have you been up to? It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
I mean, you know, I've been patiently waiting your arrival back at the desk. And I don't know if you know this, but this desk was actually the desk that Stevie Nicks wrote Landslide on for Fleetwood Mac.
Is that right? Stevie Nicks.
Nah, it's not true. It's not true. I'd love to be able to say that about this story. Actually, it's I don't know what Mark's done a few things on here, I think, actually.
Yeah. Looks haunted as fuck.
So what you doing?
Stevie Nicks, on that note, man, what's she, 70 years old now, still rocking out concerts, just been to Manchester and that.
Is she?
Yeah. At the new Co-op, which is like apparently the best sound system in Europe. And God knows why they go and open a stadium. I suppose it's just for concerts and stuff, but the way football stadiums are mapping out now, like Tottenham, it's like an arena for boxing events,
yeah.
You know what I mean, artists and all that stuff. I'm thinking, you're literally a stone throw away between Man City, the Etihad, and the Co-op.
Speaking of tickets, just quickly before we dive into serious stuff.
Yeah.
Oasis, do you get me some?
Come on, you know no man that knows a man that knows a man.
Do you get me some Oasis tickets? You taking me to watch Oasis?
Hey, I'm not getting in that queue. You seen, I mean, the government have got involved. What right? These overreach motherfuckers. Oh, we don't like the price of it. What? Because you have to pay this time. You can't knock it off your tax, you parasites. I hope you're listening.
Oh, hang on, it's kicked off. It's like, fucking tea time. Ready, everybody? Let's go. Oh, Ben is a coiled
It just made me laugh. I seen something in the MEN saying this MP, this local MP, whatever she was, parasite, she's saying, I've been on here for so long and I can't believe the price is 400 quid. I'm like, you do get to determine how much someone charges for their shit. But anyway, it was a luck of the draw. People got in, people didn't get in. But everyone seems to be an Oasis fan now, right?
Yeah.
So it should go out to our era first. Let's have some fair play, right?
I think you need to get some tickets.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get some tickets. I think they're doing 3 dates at Eaton Park, or maybe 4, with 80,000 a time. I'm just going to lay it down there. I respect him, even though the City fans. I don't think Liam's got it in his voice to do 3 days back to back. That's some intense shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I like the fact
and it ain't no singing. That is, good rock and roll.
He can do it.
I hope so.
I think he's got better with age.
I think Manny accents, you can get away with it, can't you? Because we sound like shit anyway.
Yeah, he's about drawing it. That's
through the nose.
He's got a little snarl to him.
I'm proud of them guys. We're only round the corner from where I'm from, Burnage. I'm from Longsight, and I remember these guys growing up, mate. They were firing. But music was then. Remember, like, hip-hop was banging. Even the Spice Girls were doing the thing. Who were the other ones? Blur. Was it Blur?
Yeah.
And there was another one.
Damon Albarn, wasn't it?
Man, that was
Pulp.
Music.
Pulp.
I sound like my dad though to Cairo these days. I'm like, what is that shit you're listening to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My dad used to say, turn that bloody boom boom shit off, will you?
The boom boom room.
Like the R&B in that. Turn that bloody boom boom shit off.
Oh, shit.
You know, well, he loves the
days, man.
kinks. Well, man.
Do you ever find that? You'll get it with little man. I'm like, fuck. Man,
But I find it with him when he's like, Daddy, can I get some candy? I'm like,
yeah.
don't fucking Americanize
I know.
sweets in this house,
Shows
pal.
the impact of that shit, right?
Yeah, it's like, what you been watching? Watching some shit. Although he did say to me the other day, around about money or something, and he said, I think I was talking about all the stuff I wanted to do on the house. I said, oh God, it's going to cost a fortune to do stuff on the house. Yeah, you know what it's like, you're chatting away. He said, Daddy, he said to his mum, Mummy, I think I said something like, "Are you going to get your money out, B? If you know, are you going to get your money out to do all this?" You know, the conversations you have in a house. She's like, yeah. I mean, Mummy, if I sell my Paw Patrol toys, I can give you some money.
Oh man,
I was like, oh, you little cutie.
I've had them moments, mate.
I was like, but we are selling them anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's too much shit in this house. Give your toys to somebody else. You got 500. So anyway, Ben, you've been off, and I've been, busting my ass trying to get physically healthy, physically fit in your, in your absence.
You're looking well, my man.
The question is, what have you been up to? Everyone wants to know what Ben's been up to.
Well,
Obviously,
I've been looking after my...
Have you seen, we haven't had a calls.
No.
Have we not had a podcast since his mum died?
No. It was after the last podcast, April, my mum passed away. We'll get into that. But, mate, what I've been up to is, this year has been the highest highs and the lowest lows, It's been an eventful year, and I've been living my life as well. Been spending some... When I thought about it, I'm like, man, last 2 years, especially if I'm coming off socials, which is around about 15 month, man, I've been enjoying life, I've been doing my thing. We've been podcasting, we're flying with coaching. Other business ventures have been taking off and stuff. Spending some quality time with Lisa, the kids, getting up to all types of shit. Some crazy experiences. I've knocked a load of things off the bucket list. Went to hell and back with my mum, you know what I mean? And I think I'm at a point where that chapter's done. We're ready for bigger, better things. As an accumulation of what's been learned, I think I said on a previous podcast, my whole worldview has changed. But at the same time, I've never had my self-belief, my ability and my capability has never been so high. So looking at where we're going to challenge that now, we talk about all around with business, we can feel it.
Well, we were just chatting, weren't we?
Exactly.
Loads of cool shit coming up.
Loads of cool shit.
Plug that. We got the 14-day Unbreakable
tell him.
challenge coming up. We've got the release of the app coming up. We've got 2 amazing things there.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a conversation about the app, because people just hear an app and think, oh, it's another app.
Yeah.
And I don't see anyone in our arena that has anything like this. It's pocket rocket, full of resources, the shit that makes a difference.
What I'm most proud of about it, actually, I was talking to Ollie about this, is I've downloaded some apps, I won't mention whose apps, sort of influencer style apps. It's just you get on there, you're like, fucking hell, where do I start with this?
Yeah.
Log on, it's just built around our philosophy. Boom, start here. Start talking about morning routines, evening routines. There's challenges on there. There's little daily steps you can take, laid out.
Yeah.
And you just follow each step at a time. Right step, right time.
Exactly.
Get an app. And it's free. And the one version we have is free forever. It's not 14 days free, then you're into paid. It's like that. There's a free version.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not got everything on it, but it's got a good amount on it.
Yeah.
In fact, you gave it someone, right? And they went, bloody hell, I can't believe how much stuff's on here.
I know, I won't do that again. I was joking. Now I don't think you have to get into the vaults and the big stuff, but you're bang on. And we're living in a time where people think they need to learn more all the time, right? And if you look at that, that's just really an insecurity in their own knowledge. And it's, we educate people, no doubt, but then the practicality comes into it. And that's what's making a difference. Hey, we've got someone else in the room. Yeah. What are you doing here? Get out.
Power off.
Mark, if you're good, you can edit that shit out.
Power off.
Sounds like the missus. Power off.
Actually, I just got in bed.
What do you mean power off?
It's funny because I looked over and it went, power off. And I just saw Mark go.
Yeah, that's like, no, that doesn't happen.
Power off.
Yeah.
He's a fembot. He's a fucking bot. He's a bot.
I knew he was AI. I knew that motherfucker was a clone.
A human being.
Yeah.
Power off.
I knew he didn't sleep. But it's this, you say it a lot. You're You got to be very meticulous in how much information you consume. And it's just this need for more. So we know this, and everyone we've ever coached can say, nah, the reason why we educate people in knowledge is that you got to understand and give them an opportunity to buy in with the skills and the techniques and the habits that we're giving these people.
Emma was just on, Emma McSkelly, amazing, brilliant interview. Well, not an interview, conversation. So much so that we forgot to actually get any pictures or promo it. But she was saying about this, and I thought it was really interesting for somebody who's just not a coach, not interested, but very successful in her own right, come through some real tough times, who just is doing the work because she wants to improve herself in her life. No, like, I'm going to go create my 7 miracle habits course from this. She said, I didn't realize for a long time that I confused reading books and watching stuff with actually doing the work. And then I actually started doing the work, like therapy and stuff. And I was like, oh, now I'm doing the work. Like she could tell. And I think we don't realize, and this is the point I'm trying to make all the time on social media with us. You're not doing the work by just learning all the time.
Not at all.
You're becoming more informed. Much as I could keep reading books about inflammation and training and getting jacked, and I could go, wow, I'm thinking differently about my food, and okay, but I've got to then go do it. And I think we confuse that with mindset. We're like, no, I'm just it's great. I'm working on myself. It's like, you're not really working on yourself. You're learning. They're two different things. But the nuance is you have to do the learning to get to the next step. That's what she said. I realized, but I had to do that to get to my step of. The problem is when we never make that next step, innit?
Oh, yeah, I think a simple term of it is just, analyzing and paralyzing. And it sits in that realm of, I need to learn more before I can start doing something, which is insecurity and thinking that you need more knowledge. And you can do as much, like you say, reading and researching and studying and learning on any topic, but if you don't actually taste it, then you're never going to know how it feels. In reality, mate, that's where we're different. It is not our training or anything we've ever done that don't either reinforce the importance of a set technique or habit or skill, or remind or even educate and develop. And that's what we love about what we do. That most people's issue is a skill gap. And, going back to my mum, if I didn't have the skills and the awareness and that default baseline of being able to deal with adversity, losing anyone, especially your mum or your dad, that's some next level shit. And
what surprised you the most about that?
Surprised me the most about what?
Losing your mum. What surprised you the most after it happened? Because obviously until it was happening, I was watching you just kind of like gritting, managing it, navigating it, looking after yourself, prioritizing, but you were in doing mode, weren't you? Like you were busy, caring, you were still showing up on a Thursday at Unbreakable. We scaled back in Unbreakable. You'd accept that, wouldn't you? We had to, in a sense. You had this bigger thing going on. You delivered and showed up.
Yeah.
You had all this stuff, the kids, the family. So I was watching you like move towards this thing that you knew was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just observing you like and your mood and stuff, and you could see you're keeping your shit together, on top of it, prioritizing yourself. You had it, but then after it, when all that structure had kind of dissipated, and you're like, "Fuck, it's happened." In those following moments, what surprised you the most?
Yeah, that's a good place to start because we can reverse engineer why this is surprising.
Well, just tell me what surprised you the most.
Just for our listeners, it's not just you.
No, you tell me.
What surprised me the most is how we've all dealt with it and what's evolved from it. So there's an expectation that when we lose anybody, there's this crumbling phase that usually destroys people. How many people we spoke to, like, how long's this issue been going on? Yeah, about 10 years. What was the thing that, like, knocked you off course? I lost my mum, I lost my dad, I lost something. The grief is just destroying people at the minute, innit? So the day after my mum passed away, the day after my mum's funeral, what surprised me for her is my mum has dedicated her life to serving others. And I think what I learned from that was good people have shit self-belief. I'm going to talk about bad people in a minute, but not necessarily like just going to kick someone in the face. And they have good self-belief, good self-concept. And I always said to her, you know, my mum went through shit, and at a funeral, I've never seen anything like it. I've been to a lot of funerals from a young age, and I've seen some funerals, I've seen some turnouts. But my mate said to me, actually, if anyone was to want the funeral of the dreams, the funerals that they would, a good send-off, people reminiscing, loving, crying, good memories, had an impact, all that type of stuff, and celebrate in a way that celebrated a life. That was a great example. For most people, that doesn't happen. But the actual turnout from my mum, every race, every gender, from all walks of life, you know, legitimate immigrants that I'd known my mum a couple of months, who she'd fundraise for them and, you know, help them with cancer. Like, these people come out of the woodwork. And I was just surprised the impact of what giving your heart to people can actually do. And I questioned it. I was like, really? Because I'm like, no, you can't just give yourself coming at the cost of yourself, because that's fundamentally what happens. You're a good person thinking that doing more will get more, or, you know, this whole thing of working hard. And if you keep doing well for other people externally, where really the issue is internally, right? I was trying to change effect with effect. And then the celebration after it, the way the kids showing up for my mum, it was unreal. You know, take a few steps back. With the Irish, we have a big wake. My mum was home for a week before she was buried. People come and pay their respects. All her sisters were there. You know, the Irish can make something from nothing. And it's just amazing how there's always something on the stove. And that's the way we grieve, right? And it's important to have family around. And I was from a young age exposed to them environments. And I think it's helped me with grief over the years, understand how actually you channel it. And so I had to, you know, repeat the same process with my kids, and they had the option. You can be around the wake, you come into the wake, that's what we do. So it's up to you if you want to go in the room and open coffee. And there was this moment where, you know, Amara's like, look, I want to go and see her. And I'm like, why? She said, I don't know why, I just feel like I want to see her. You're talking to an 8-year-old kid. I'm like, I'm going to stand in the way of that. And she grabs a couple of cousins who are similar age, and you walk in, and obviously it comes at a shock, which we all knew, yeah? Seeing your grandma in a box isn't an easy thing to see.
No.
But my niece, her cousin, obviously gets a bit upset. Amara's already come walking over to me, and I'm like, yeah, you know, your cousin needs you, go over, give her love. And she goes over, gives her love. Then our other little cousin comes over, and next minute is this pile of little cousins and all coming together. And you could see some of the parents, because they're upset, like they wanted to get involved, and I just put my hand up like, no. I wanted them to feel it fully, like there's nothing wrong in this. You know, this grief, this pain is completely connected to love. And I nodded to my eldest son and my eldest niece, and they went over. And I remember putting in, at one point, and I thought, right, that's enough. And I put my arms around him, and I whispered to him, like, don't ever be afraid of that feeling. Don't ever be afraid of that feeling. You feel that fully. And it shows you how much you love your grandma. And I was okay for them to feel that, because I knew it was real. Not to suppress it, not to blag it, not to hide them from it. They see me cry, they see me laugh, they see the respect, they see the appreciation, they see the connection, they see us show up and all this type of stuff. And you know, I remember when my mum got ill, I turned to my brothers and I said, listen, the most important thing we do through this process is how we show up. And you was witnessing that as a mate, as a business partner. I was making sure that, you know, I shown up. And it was some days, 20 minutes before, jumping on a live with these Q&As, like I am pulling my hair out. But I just had this ability just to get into character and go, right, pause that, let's go. You know, my eldest daughter didn't attend my mum's funeral for various reasons. And that could have crippled a man on a day. But it hurt me in a way that I understand why she didn't want to come. Because that's the way she's been raised. And I haven't had enough time around her to impact in the way we do shit. I've always said to you, like, my daughter's my daughter, but she's not a fanning, because of the fact that, you know, just in time, she's going to be more leaning towards her mum's way of bringing her up. But through that pain, kids, 8-year-old kids, like, I want to speak for my grandma. I got to come, you know, I want to speak at her funeral. I'm like, what the? No one prompted him. No one encouraged him. We just Said, hey, cool, if that's what you want to do, no problem. And people got to witness that. And they were so composed at my mum's funeral. 3 or 4 of them spoke. The ones that didn't speak just went up and supported him. Everyone would do it in different ways. And, I'm stood in his church with my mum in a box, feeling proud. Like, can you imagine how it feels? I'm not only just feeling proud, and that's probably doing it a disservice. I'm grieving. My heart is broken. I'm so proud. I feel so loved at the same time and loving.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. I mean, we need to make sure that we stop identifying certain situation with just one feeling, because it is a cocktail of things in it. To the point that I then realise I'm in honour of my mum's life. You know what I mean? We're representing and celebrating my mum's life. The kids have done a job. We had a beautiful, what you could call, church service at our local church. It's always been there. And we come out and it was just littered. All the bikers are there, all these people that everyone had a story, everyone had some form of memory of my mum. And I'm like, took away by this. And then I realised it's not just me that's at a loss here.
So does it surprise you how much impact your mum had in her life?
I knew she'd had impact, but you don't know everything about everybody's life,
you think you know everything about your mum, don't you?
I knew she had an impact. I knew she was a Mother Teresa where I'm from. I know, you know what I mean? I was very close to my mum in that sense of, and it wasn't just the best relationship. By far, he's always going to have the yin and yang. But, I knew my mum's darkest secrets out of all of us. She knew mine. There was no secrets. But, I don't know what she goes about with on a day-to-day basis in work.
She probably never realised the impact she had, mate.
And the same way with me, or, she'd say things like, people keep coming up to me in work saying he's doing his thing on Facebook and fucking what are you doing? But she was true to her word. And it's shown. And that is the ultimate respect for anybody.
Yeah.
And with that honour of being able to bear witness to that, then we go to the church, I say my piece. I get, the cremation centre, and the guy who, I don't know what to call him, the MC that conducts the ceremony.
Fucking MC.
What the fuck you call him?
Wrong gig.
The guys, I can't remember the bloody, what he interface priest, he calls himself.
Yeah,
right?
He was the.
He was a dude.
What's it called when you run the officiator? I suppose.
The officiator, the MC.
They're officiating it. Okay. The MC. There's a car parked at the back of the building. People registration FW13. Can you please move it? That's the MC, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. No, the MC, the master ceremony.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's not.
You get a picture.
I get a picture.
And.
So you're moving through this process.
Stay there, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm just going back to the church. So we go through all that, and I remember coming out of church feeling proud, like we've done our job, and going back to what I said before with it was so important how we shown up, not just for myself, but for everybody. I feel like we've done the job for my mum. It's exactly what she would have wanted. And I said some things in that church that has been life-changing for me. And one of the things was, we never try and find the positives and stuff, right? Or the negatives and shit. But we do try and find a meaning. And I'll tell you at one point, Sam, like, what the fuck? One side of me was like, I'm starting to think now, morality doesn't even exist. How does it exist? I mean, my mum gave her whole life. The universe don't give a fuck about that, God, whatever it is. It's a construct of man. My mum gave her whole life and dies of brain cancer with 20 fucking tumours in her brain, fighting like the fighter she was. I'm starting to lose faith. Like, I'm struggling to find a meaning in this. And that 9 months, and it actually come to me because the day my mum was dying, we knew. We obviously rearranged the back room because she obviously got weaker and stuff like that. And as things just evolved, we were just trying to adapt to her needs. So she ended up in the back room, which funny enough was our family room. It's where we always sat down in it. The walls were covered in pictures. She was very proud of her family. And that for her is her ultimate success. Something on the stove, door open, kids running wild, everyone eating at the table and stuff like that. That's her hosting. That's why, I've took on that, right? I love hosting for people and for my family. But we took all the pictures down because remember, when she found out she got cancer, I just completely done the house up, knowing that this environment needs to be
better,
as optimal as possible. So anyhow, we knew she was dying. Her sisters are there, and my auntie said, I knew something was wrong because she's seen us all talking to boys, and we'd kind of gone, this is it, we can feel it in our heart. She was in pain for about 3 days, and obviously the doctors had done something to release the pain. She just looked settled, and her breathing completely changed, and we just couldn't wake her up. I'm thinking, nah, we ain't seen this. You just know. There's a knowing. I can't explain what that is, but we just knew. I don't know what come over me, but we started rearranging the room. I cleared everything out. I knew that people would want to get round the bed. She was in the corner. And it's like we were talking to each other without speaking. It was just this fucking in sync shit where we just saw, me and my brothers just started getting a room the way we wanted it. And all of a sudden, it just felt like the walls were bare. I started putting all the pictures back up. And I put every picture I could think of, old, new, like I just covered the walls. And my brothers just said, like, they just knew it was your thing. And I remember looking after she died, and I remember thinking, fucking hell, man, you actually lived a good life. All the pictures were smiling. The old days in Bellevue when it was a massive zoo in Manchester where I was from. She had a massive family. No one really fucked around with that family, you know what I mean? And the bikers, my dad and all that stuff. They were humble people. You just didn't cross the line with them. She had such a good life. And what broke me out is that she died without really fulfilling that relationship with herself. I don't think she gave herself enough recognition for what she actually accomplished, right? That's why I say I think good people have shit self-belief.
All good people?
Well, you think about it. I say it in Unbreakable all the time. You got a massive heart, and that's your problem. Yeah, I have ran with some of the worst you can think of. I've rubbed shoulders with every part of life, and there is some people that are twistedly bad. You ain't helping these guys. They're twisted, they're possessed. And I know these people. I've been up against these people. I've fought against these people, and these people have also been friends, and they'll still be friends to the end of the days, right? But when I look at good people like myself, yeah, I've always struggled with that self-belief or that self-concept. You think about it, where you get someone who's bad, and I'm not saying bad as in a person that needs to be a bad person, but someone who doesn't sit in the realm of the constructs of society, who goes by the rules, when I'm saying you fucking make your own rules, who settle for being second best, who think giving and giving more and helping everybody is the way forward. Well, actually, that's part of it. But if you forget yourself, then we're not addressing the cause. Do you know what I mean? Where I see, like, I would say, consider myself, put me in a bad realm. I'm like, no, I'm unapologetic, mate. If that's what I want, I'm going to get it. You know what I mean?
Star Wars, they're made up words, isn't they?
Yeah, well, exactly. But the point being is that, good-hearted people get rolled over. We've seen it through COVID and shit. People with good-hearted, they played on the heartstrings and they were manipulated in every way. They played on the good people, the people who were wise to it, the people who was like, nah, I'm a bad motherfucker. I've got some good structure. I don't conform to the rules of society. And this is what we do in Unbreakable. Like, no. I don't want you to walk the path that everyone else is walking. You make your own. You become that. And for that, your circle's going to change. You're going to have to say bye to some people. You're going to have to exchange some habits.
That's what your definition of
yeah,
good is.
However you want to see it, yeah. And my mum...
Sometimes it sounds like you mean like being a nice person.
Yeah, suppose. No, because you can be nice and kind in this part. It's like you have to be good to people and good to yourself. What you can't be is good to people and bad to yourself. I suppose that's a better way of understanding it, yeah?
Yeah, I'd say so.
You understand? So if you're a good person that don't treat yourself like shit, then they're things
I suppose it's what you... Yeah. If you are a good person who is selflessly, is constantly giving, but not actually receiving anything back, if that makes sense, in accepting in yourself.
Yeah. In that, I understand what you're saying through give and receive, but I'm also about giving to yourself, not just receiving.
Yeah, I mean receiving from yourself, so giving to yourself, yeah.
If I go back to going back to jail and that point there, people would think, nah, that guy was this and that and the other. Like, that guy didn't give a shit. He was about it. And I don't really mess with him if I could and all. Whatever that would look like. Really, I was just insecure. I wasn't treating myself right. I was out of shape. Not just physically, that's easy to see, but mentally, I was unfit. You know what I mean? I multiple times, had issues calling it a day. He had a nervous breakdown, all this type of shit. I'm struggling with my mental and emotional health. As a man, and where I'm from, you like can't really talk about this. You know what I mean? And but then I'm out here trying to be a good person to the people that are real to me. You know, it's in prison I realised, wow, I've risked my freedom for pricks. I ain't even getting a visit off the boys. I'm having to put my missus at the time to come on every visit just so I don't get ghosted. But besides the point, my mum had taught us well. She taught us to be resilient. And it was looking at them pictures I found meaning. I kind of thought, wow, nah, my mum's values, I see it now. I realised then, you know, I've said it, I think before on a podcast, it was parenting is showing what you should be, but it's also showing you what you shouldn't be. And we learned from that. Therefore, her mistakes, because what happened with my mum for being a good person, she sabotaged herself. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
A lot of mums especially, a lot of parents.
Come on, look at the most bullshit myth in the world. As long as my kid's all right, I'll feel like shit. That's nonsense, mate. It's a conditioned belief that ain't serving anybody. So, yes, we must serve our kids, but if we ain't prioritising our well-being or sabotaging, because no doubt there was something going on with my mum where, you know, she just felt like she wasn't worth prioritising her well-being.
Well, maybe she didn't even just, from that era where that just wasn't even a fucking
possibly,
concept,
but we've had big conversations, all that type of stuff, and like you say, you know, you can only go so far.
I think one of the, mate, what I'm hearing as well, an element, is this idea of like the contracts we hold, the unconscious contracts we hold in the world. And I'm trying to think who wrote the book, Why Good People Do Bad Things. Not Debbie Ford, because she wrote a book titled that, but a chap, I did a lot of his, old chap, he's really famous in the shadow work. I did a lot of his courses. He talks how we hold this, we hold these contracts with life itself. The unconsciously, if I'm good things will happen to me. And if we're bad things happen. He's like, that's just not how life works. Good people have bad things happen to them, but good people also do bad things. But there's this unconscious contract we hold. And when that contract is breached, fucking life.
Yeah.
How unfair. My mum died like this.
Exactly.
She was a good person. It's like, that's because we're holding that unconscious contract. And there's conflict there.
And then look, it causes conflict because then we think that's the whole point that, and a lot of people like the coaches, we need to do more externally. And we actually forget the internal world. And you're thinking like, what's the internal world? Well, think about that voice that you can hear in your head with no ears. Think about that vision you can see in your mind with no eyes. Think about how you can even hear that with no voice box. You can hear that clear. And that's what we play in. It's like, okay, you got this external shit going on. We've got to play the inner game as well. So, yeah, it's that era of being brainwashed into, you must work hard. You must get, you know, a mortgage. You must get a marriage. You must get a couple of kids. Then what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah.
And what they did was absolutely play on the path that my mum's my mum's work ethic was a joke.
Well, I think me and Matt Wilkes talking about this, interestingly, about just, I think a lot of them contracts, if you use that word, that we hold, or we have held for generations, people are starting to go, no.
Nah. Especially this next generations, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there is going to be an element where I think a lot of the younger generation just think they're going to, you know, fucking have a TikTok account and make millions of pounds. But that ain't the, you know, the minority. And I think I watched some bloke talk about that. Like that's like 1%, 0.0, you know, it was somebody in business. But there's a lot to be said, I think, for the overreaction, underreaction. Like you look at your mum and go, fuck me, the work ethic, cracking on. And maybe, I don't know, I'm of the experience that possibly in younger generations, that's not quite the case with all, you know, like
maybe you're seeing,
don't work hard enough on times.
100%.
I was talking to a business owner a while back and they were like, I really struggle to employ young people. And they weren't like, he's like, they're just like, fuck me, if they're ill, they're off.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm off today. It takes as much time. He said, that's the experience I've had. And that's not all young people.
No,
that would be
obviously.
tiring.
We're talking about.
But he's just talking from experience, a big business. I'm not talking like, 10 employees, fucking loads.
Yeah, yeah.
Where they're bringing people in. He's like, God, it's like work is like they're coming in doing you a favor.
Yeah, yeah.
Like rather than being their job.
Yeah.
He said it's shifted so much, the attitude towards work.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is an element where you think that's not helpful. And that's not me ruining. You could take that same bite out of this and go, fuck me, all young kids. I'm not saying all young kids.
Not at all.
But there's been a shift there, isn't there?
Well, I think a lot of people would agree. And there is a subtle shift in terms of effort and grit and understanding and entitlement. And, you know, some of this then leans into the fact that kids are getting their ass wiped. We're all guilty of that stuff. And we all say, oh, try to give them what I didn't have, where really the building blocks of that made us who we are. But that's a side note to the conversation, isn't it? In terms of what the fuck you're talking about.
But
anyway.
So no, I think it's very related though.
Oh,
from what
massively.
I'm listening to, you're like, you can tell you're frustrated for your mum.
Well,
like,
it's not even frustration. It's just some, you know, there's passion in it because ultimately it doesn't matter. My mum did a job. As you taught me, the best job a parent can ever do is pivot the kids in a better direction, and she did. You know, many people have probably had my mum always kept it real. She did not have the middle ground of small talk. It was either right or wrong, do or don't, black or white, right, you know, all that shit.
Not much context of your mum.
Fucking straight to the point. Yeah, and I love that. That's why we get straight to the point. But for my mum and me, my brothers, her immediate family, people got to witness and people got to relate. And I said, and this is what I'm saying about...
What surprised you the most?
Well, we said the surprising the most is the way we've dealt with it, what's come from it, the legacy she's left, the people that are still like, oh man, I didn't know your mum passed away, and they tell me a story about her, and you know, the way the kids, even on her birthday, they want to do another speech. Cairo, the day after the funeral, we didn't get home until 4:00, big old party, the celebration was unreal. I remember getting to the aftermath and I'm like, you know, I remember I threw a massive party for her and it was great, like 300 or 400 people, they were treating her like the queen. People crying just to be in her presence, touching her face and all this type of stuff. And that's when actually I was like, wow, you know, outside of what you've done, man, I was trying to reincarnate that. I remember going into the party, had a few songs and I tried getting it going on, come on the dance floor, went over to a few of my cousins and said, we'll get something sweet, we'll try it again. By the end of it, karaoke, kids dancing, we had screens all over the show with all the pictures with everybody, people reminiscing, coming up. There was actually a lady at the end of it who was a friend of the family who said, I've just had to explain to my kids that not all funerals are like this. It's the only one I've ever seen. It's usually boring, mundane with cheese sandwiches. I just started laughing.
I do love a good wake though.
Oh man.
Even the boring ones.
You know.
I think you hear a lot of stories. Isn't it mad that we only feel the need to share stories sometimes when people ain't here to hear them? You're like, why,
that's the ultimate
why don't we
achievement,
share them while they're fucking here though?
It's the ultimate. I've no doubt
your
they
mum,
did.
she's changed my life. What do you fucking tell her?
Exactly.
Tell me, tell her.
But it was the little things like, you know, it was always about chocolates. Oh, my mum would always do that. If there's a problem, have a fucking chocolate or something. You know, you get some food.
Do you know what we do in our ice?
What? Yeah.
Do you know what we do in our ice is... Do you want a cup of tea?
That's another one.
Fucking
Go on, get in the kitchen, have a brew.
world's just falling apart.
Yeah.
It's like, right. Do you want a cup of tea? Yeah. Every time. Cup of tea.
Yeah, so them little things, I remember a couple of days, I'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, it's just think memories are coming back. No, because there's an Asian family at the top and he said, I can't believe it, your mum's not here. And he explained to his son, Francis has gone, right? And he thought it was a disrespect. That's how I explained to him. It wasn't, because his son goes, what? I'm not going to get any chocolates no more. Yeah. And honestly, the lump in my throat was like, no. I actually ran. There was an old Easter egg. I grabbed him like, of course you can. And what carry on these legacies? And mum's a big giver. And you know I'm a big giver, mate. Where do you think it comes from? But going back to the meaning, after, you know, reflecting all that, going through all that, them days in the week, and some days we just sat there, no one there, just my mum in a room, thinking things through, you know, trying to digest things, looking at them pictures. And there was a part of me over them 9 months who was like, man, that is probably the biggest battle I have ever been through. That was some wild shit. The good, the bad and the ugly. So many different dynamics of what happened. And I was thinking, you know what, at the end of this, we come out on top. I remember going into this thinking, whatever happens here, we're going to win somehow. And you know, I was really, you know, these alternative things. I've learned so much about cancer. Lucky enough, I've been in a network that people have reached out. There was so much that I did. That's what I had to do, was immerse myself in understanding this. Right? I was like, fuck, what do you mean he's no fucking cure and he's only this and that and the other? And there is alternative methods out there, no doubt. And no doubt some of that worked, because they gave her 3 months, we kept her here for 9. She was on 0 medication. Even doctors are like, I don't know how the fuck you're here. To the point we had to have a conversation with mum saying, if you don't want to be here, there's no point in doing the protocols and things that you've asked us to go and find. And ain't nothing wrong in that. There is nothing, even the very fact, even if you go down with mainstream fucking medicine, you should be doing this. And what are them things? Reducing stress at all costs, understanding that sugar is a primary fuel for cancer, understanding that 2 compounds are factor in terms of the stem cell and the actual cancer cells, understanding that your mentality and the way we feel emotionally is probably the most important thing when you're going through a battle like that. Then we start looking at the physical aspects, you know, well rested, well slept, fucking, you know, good reminiscing, high doses of vitamin D. All this type of stuff is a good form of recovery, if anything, if people are going through this shit. To the point that there is things to look at called Franz Plan saying, hey, open up your mind to this stuff. You're talking about trying to improve your health when you are disease riddled. How that's not an approach anyway is beyond me. And we all got our reasons why I think that, right? Maybe for another podcast. But I'm thinking about all this and trying to find meaning, which I was struggling with, getting frustrated at the time, which, you know, through frustration, through that anger, through the fucking things I felt what I didn't want, I started to see what we did want. And I remember thinking, man, Mum, did you really show up at your worst so we could show up at our best? And she would have took that deal like there's no tomorrow. She'd go through all that again to make sure that she primed us well. And when I looked, I was like, man, did we come out on top? I did not know I was capable or have that ability. I knew just through my own life what I was capable of. I knew my ability, but that was a whole different ball game. And to come home to a bit of Rod Stewart, had my moment, kept it together through the day, yeah.
Bit of Rod Stewart.
And man, I just could not stop laughing, Si.
What was the song?
I was, I'm trying to wait. Let me get a finger.
What's the song?
Do finger one. Help me out, Matt. Let me get it up here. No, none of that shit. Listen to my heart.
Just play it.
Yeah, let me get a bit of this.
Has he got Lady
I'm not really a
Jane
Rod Stewart fan.
He got some good stuff, Rod Stewart.
Oh, man.
Is it Lady Jane a song? Good old Rod.
And man, because it was like everything just coming to my realization, like we're showing up, look what she's done, the impact. Cairo next day, waking up about 8 o'clock, son, do you want to stay in bed or play football? Dad, I want to go and score for grandma. And all this has just come out of it. We're stronger as a family. She brought people together. There was massive breakups.
She lived a good life, mate.
Well, she lived a tough life, mate.
But a good life.
And that's what made it a great life.
A good life.
Yeah. And, you know, for that now.
She would have been happy with it.
She would definitely have been happy with the way we performed.
What about her life, though?
I think, yeah, of course, because she lived on the edge. My mum wasn't anybody but herself. And she always embedded that in us.
You know, she's a different type of
Ben,
mum as well in an area that you live there.
Well, she's done a job for boys where most of her mates are, you know, I'd say a good percentage of them, their kids are either dead or in jail.
Exactly.
You know, we made it through. Listen, where I'm from, man, you know, there's a lot of shit going on there. But that particular street, I don't know how, in all that side alongside, how that street, in all the time I've been there, has never shed any blood. It's been close a few times, but there has been no bloodshed. Where literally at the corner, under the bridge, that's a different story. And she just had this ability to see a person. She didn't give a shit about reputation or status. She cared about heart and character. You know what I mean? That's my mum in a nutshell. I don't give a fuck who you are, how big you think you are, what type of money you got. If you're a prick, you're a prick. And she could just see through people. She used to do it with girls, bring her home. Yeah, you know, be in love with her, bring her home. You know, she'd leave and she's like, nah, she's not the one. We're like, Jesus, man. How do you know? And you know, obviously having an argument now. Because I got a lot of, hey, years, the months down the line. Yeah, he was probably the right mum. But I'll tell you what, when she met my wife, she was like, she's the one. And she went wrong. You know what I mean? So the aftermath of that, like I say, been living my life, figuring some stuff out, healing, prioritizing myself. And then we got to see it on the stats, right? Knowing what we do. I was like, man, it reinforced what we do works. Because many people would go through that situation and justify why they're not important. Why?
You did that well, though. You prioritized yourself well.
Well, I was already, a step ahead.
Of course.
Sorry, Si. Can I tell you the reason why I knew that I had to make sure that was a priority, it was non-negotiable?
No.
Well, I won't tell you anyway, because I'm sure the viewers want to know. It's because I was very aware, if I didn't, the possible outcomes.
Like what?
Like, I am a wrecking ball. You know what I mean? I can be just as much the opposite person that many people see me now. I knew if my energy wasn't right. And there was times that I was like, I'm leaning into this overcare, you know. It's just being able to skillfully navigate that. There was a point where I couldn't despise set people in my family after what happened, and through being true to myself, taking time to reply, letting things settle.
Bit of space,
being able to park and go, I ain't even dealing with that shit right now. Actually has brought us so close together. Good quality family member that I absolutely respect and love now. Change the dynamics. Some people have been chopped. They will never ever be able to call me family again. Vice versa. We was even respectful to go, hey, you're allowed to the funeral, but you ain't sitting at the table of respect. Do not come to the wake. And if you do cross that line, there's going to be an issue. It's this certainty of just saying, hey, I don't really have to act on this. I just need to give you the option. If you make that option, it's on you, not me.
Well,
but it was having these whole family standards, and it was actually through the pursuit of being truthful to each other, or us being truthful, in the end, they had to accept. And it's made us all better people. And that's another thing through my mum's death that she would have loved to, that it filter out the weak and keep with the strong. She always said that to us. And being you will always filter that out. And maybe that's what got us through the streets, I don't know. Because we was also frightened to death of bringing the police to the door. Do you know what I mean? But let me tell you, you can get the biggest, baddest motherfucker coming up to my mum's and they'd have respect. She just summoned this. She just somehow was able to squeeze it out of people, and it made them a better person. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think then actually, sorry, one more thing is that I actually thought, fucking hell, I'm a lot like my mum than I thought I was. More so, but me and my brothers have been like, I won't say put my mum first before my dad, but it was like, yeah, dad's happy doing his thing. We're happy for that. But I learned more from going through this with my mum than my dad living an happy life. And I think what broke me heart is in the end, that relationship fell apart, which was out of our control. And I felt like she died alone, and it was something that she was looking for, that no matter what her sons did, it couldn't fill the void. And that's one thing I'd wish changed for my mum. But
how long was she with your dad for?
Oh man, fucking hell. All my life, like 40 odd years. And it was the breakdown of her relationship with herself. And obviously coupled with things with my dad. And I only won't mind me saying, because it's just honest. Two very good people. Worked the bollocks off, paid all the taxes, paid her house off. You know what I mean? Raised some guys, always food in a cupboard. Like, fuck. I was like, he didn't even make it to retirement, man. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, fundamentally, that's some of my mum's responsibility. She didn't treat herself well. No. She didn't take, you know...
She had, you want me saying, she had a problem with alcohol, didn't she?
Yeah, like many people. Yeah. Which is a tough one.
Which is destructive. When you have a problem with anything, really, when you have a destructive relationship with anything, that's an issue, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is what I think about, like, things like alcoholism, right? It's not degrading anybody by any means. And I think my mum over times felt like if she admitted that she was a bad person. Because when someone say, oh yeah, they're alcoholic, that's how they identify. And that's how people view them. I can't see the last time I see my mum drink. You know what I mean? She hid it in a way that obviously knew, that's what I'm saying about good people doing bad things, prioritizing the world in the way it should be and forgetting the world within as without. And that's a real blessing, but she also had time to change it. And that's, again, didn't make her a bad person, because I have had multiple addictions to shit, and I know how hard it is to come away from this stuff, and I know how hard it is to be tempted back in, and environments. You know, the last 7 years of my mum's life, she gave it a real good attempt. It was the final moment, my dad going away, and us thinking, fucking hell, if we don't get a grip of this now, she probably ain't got long left. And she took us on a massive journey, and you know, a journey of strength and courage, because that isn't easy habitually. You know, you think about the way me and you would look at it, think of the amount of energy around that habit. You know, that pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is so ingrained.
Bit of a crutch as well.
Oh, yeah.
The psychological element where you're like, oh, you know.
And I think a lot of people, especially my mums and dad's ages, they fell for the con of work hard, get a house. And I'm not saying them things are a bad thing. I'm doing that. You know what I mean? But there's more to it. And with my ma and my dad, it was like, and I see a lot of people that have worked hard, raised a family, and then it becomes, well, I'm unhappy or this, and you think it's the other person's issue, and it's really.
I don't think a lot of people sometimes don't realise till you get your head up and have a look though, do you? Do you know what I mean? So I think you're getting through, a lot of people are getting through day to day, getting the grind, paying for things, doing things. You just got your head down, and then you get your head up and go.
And how many people do we speak to? 95% of the people that come through our program, they're lost, they're burnt out.
Something's happened.
They're stuck.
Something's happened.
Yeah, of course. But
your mum, something happened where your dad left, right?
Well, I just think mutually it was like, you can't take this shit no more, become so toxic. I had the best relationship with my mum, like all of us did. And, you know, I'm sharing my mum's story in a way for people to relate. We ain't looking for no sympathy. This ain't no fucking poor me card. This is some personal stuff. But it's important, you know, my mum taught us to be honest. Like we've all had some point sabotaging behaviours. Ain't no one squeaky clean. Ain't no one perfect. Ain't no one flawless. You know, whether it's porn addiction, food addiction, fucking self-destructs, drink, you know, drugs, whatever. I'll be the first to admit. But it was a blessing to us because we got to see my mum. My dad got happier. My mum, to some form, got happier. She got more active. A social circle changed. Maybe that was a very thing. And they've done the job. Like, reverse that. If this had happened at the beginning, life would be a lot different for us now. So, them things don't happen overnight, do they? Relationships don't fall apart. The drink doesn't. We was round a big drinking culture with the Irish. That's what you do. Everyone going, but then it's not just Sunday and Saturday. It's Friday. It's a glass of wine here, and before you know it, that shit's an ingrained habit, and you don't even know it's a problem. Then you have to have the conversation that shit, something's wrong, and that's probably the hardest step for most people to admit, because then all this guilt and shame starts popping in.
Vulnerability as well.
Yeah. Then we start to hide it, like the untethered soul. It's like a little fucking splinter in your finger, but instead of taking it out, we start to hide it. We start to hide it from people. Then we start to build a scaffold around it and start protecting it. Then we start to build a whole identity around it instead of taking the fucking thing out. So
I think it's difficult as well to do.
Well, especially when you're unskilled. And then when you identify the problem and you're thinking, fuck, what do I do next? Them options are limited for most people. So what they do, start serving everyone else more, thinking, well, I must just do more, be more, fucking, and I'm going to have more. Well, that's just complete bollocks.
So what's some if you had to sum it up in 3 bullet points, which is very difficult.
Fucking hell, Si. Go on. What's the question? We'll see if we can answer it.
Well, you're talking about all this. You're going about your journey and what you've learned and the meaning and the things that your mum and your dad. Yeah. And it's like, well, you know, you've pulled, the first thing is, what's one bullet point? You go, yeah, that's something I definitely have left this situation with.
That no matter how hard life gets, you cannot not prioritise yourself.
There you go. That's the first one. What's the second thing?
That never try and find the positive and negatives, but you can find some meaning. Brilliant. And even in the pain, it can serve as a purpose.
Well, pain makes you pay attention, right?
Massively. But we don't just want to stay in pain and that become our attitude, our behaviour, our emotional conviction.
You just don't want to tolerate it.
No, it's actually being aware of it's probably indicating things that you don't like.
So first one is, no matter how hard it gets, make sure you look after yourself.
We have to feel all emotions fully, not just the ones that we like. As a birth for that, for example, with my kids, it's like, fucking hell. Brilliant. Somehow through their pain, they was like, I need to process this. And they've gone, I want to speak for my grandma. But done it in a very clear and concise way. It wasn't like, oh, shy, they fucking showing up, so I never seen anything like it. To the point I'm thinking, I've got to do my speech later on and set the fucking standard.
Yeah, so you're obviously quite proud as well.
But, well, for everybody getting to witness what family values are all about, what she, that's her legacy there, innit? And I suppose a third one is that good people doesn't mean you have to treat yourself like shit.
Yeah.
It's making sure, look, if you're going to show up I think, my mum used to say, treat people how you want to be treated. Or treat yourself how you want to treat people, I would say to her now.
Yeah. Treat yourself as well as you treat other people, yeah.
And, maybe things are out different, but I know my mum would go, oh, maybe if I took your advice and I was here for another 10 years, but that changed the impact that I had, my mum would go, nah, fuck it, take me now. I truly believe in terms of what. Well, you know that song, I Can See Clearly Now.
Mate, you've put on the mic today.
Yeah. Listen to my heart, I think it is. Don't listen to my heart, Rod Stewart. Listen my heart.
Fucking hell, we've got karaoke with Ben.
Anyway.
Karaoke with Ben today.
Carpool, carry side.
It's fucking studio karaoke.
What was I saying just then? That was important.
You were just going...
Get the fuck, man. Don't be jealous of my singing. Man, what do you think of that singing? Come on, I'm trying. I ain't a singer, I'm a fighter. So... Fucking completely out my head.
Mate, I'm still stuck on...
Oh, sorry, the song, yeah. So there was a couple of signs that happened after this. Crazy things happened. The 3 songs that we had was Suspicious Minds by Elvis. She was a massive Elvis fan. Obviously, there was Rod Stewart coming in with one of them. And then some other song that was given to us in the fight with my mum. It's a phenomenal song. Can't remember. We'll put it in the comments or something. But we also left with Don't Worry. Mum was a big Bob Marley fan. And everyone was just smiling and everyone... In fact, when I was leaving the church and I was the last one, I could see all our colleagues from Asda in bits. I've gone over, gave them a big hug, and they're all doing a thing. And I thought, right, we're done. And I was the last one leaving the church, right? Okay, that's going to get me this. And I just looked back, because obviously the curtains closed, and there's my daughter and my niece with the fucking flowers saying, Mum. Do you know, like just fucking in the air. And I was looking at them it's like time just stood still. And I'm thinking, what the fuck are they doing? Everyone's leaving. But they were at arms as straight as possible, like they're trying to give them to my mum. And I must have been smiling at him and just going, come on. Do you know what I mean? And that's my point. Especially, maybe our 4th bullet would be...
I'll give you 3, but I'll let you have 4, okay?
I think I was equipped enough and happy enough and aware enough that I could navigate my kids through them feelings rather than what my other daughter did and go, I have to run away from that. And exposing them to reality rather than protecting them from it makes them a stronger person. They will always remember that. They were all I did not hide any conversation in front of him, even when I was on the doctors. Like everything was transparent. And you've met my kids, like they're fucking switched on. They're resilient. They've definitely got a good level of grit. They definitely understand that, practice will make progress. They never look for progression. They don't take no shit. Even in school, they'll ask the right questions. They won't just be passive and rolled over. They've got good standards. They've got great self-belief. And they've got a good understanding for where they are at life because we've exposed them to the experiences. And, as time's gone on, as a parent, I've also sat down and gone, I got that wrong. I even said to Cairo, coming out of football the other day, I said, you know what, son, I've actually heard something in there. Probably it was advice that I needed. I'm just going to watch you, mate, and drive you this season. And it's time to let you go, son. You're ready. You're going to do your thing. Because I realised then it was a need in me for him to do certain things because I felt that was me supporting him. Where really I'm being a fucking tugboat there because I'm taking away the opportunity of him figuring that shit out myself.
Also, he's got to have
evolve and develop, innit?
Yeah, you need different voices and you need that external. Eventually, we like to think we do everything as parents, but eventually they're going to find other sources of inspiration if he's at a good place.
Yeah.
He doesn't need his dad going on him, does he? My dad always went on me about, I'd get in a fucking car all the way home.
Just drill the way
home. I could be the best. I could, when you play football, when you've been poor. Yeah. And when you've done well.
Yeah.
It's very rare you think I did well there, but do you know what I mean? I think it's very rare anyone does that. And I used to think, I've done all right today. Jump in the car.
I know. That's what he said.
And he'd pull me up on something. And even worse was when you jump in the car going,
you fucking get
I had a shitter there.
Tail between your legs
I had a shitter there. You get in the car and he'd be like, well, for fucking hell. Now and again, I'd hear my dad on the sideline. He wasn't one of them dads who, now and again, he'd just, Simon, fucking come on. He'd and I'd be like, fucking hell. He's never one of them parents who was like, I play football with kids whose parents thought they were great. Do you know what I mean? And they were shite. And they'd always tell him how great they were. Yeah. My dad was the opposite. He had this attitude. He's still got it in a way. He's like, no, keep you keen, keep you sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep you on your toes.
The guy that used to train at UCB United when I was coaching him, he was like, my dad never, ever gave me good feedback.
No.
I don't know. There's always different ways, isn't there? But for me, it's going. Sorry,
he did give me some good feedback.
Yeah,
but it was, you know,
minimal. No, I think I'm quite
Simon
fair.
Cowell, where you go. If he said something nice, I was like, fucking hell.
Surprising.
Fucking hell, it was good, wasn't it? I knew I did all right if nothing got said.
Yeah, that's a point. Sometimes that is what you need to hear.
Well, sometimes it's what we don't say that says the most, isn't it?
But they were saying at this level as well, is like, look, I get it. You know, some of you might be football aware and be giving good advice, but we're playing systems here now, and you won't know what the system is. So if he's tucking in and you're saying pull outside, then it's like, okay, cool. You know, we're at that point now. We're at that level.
How often in coaching?
Yeah.
Are you like, fucking listen to him or her?
Yeah.
You're in here, and too many chefs spoil the broth.
Yeah.
There's multiple ways to skin a cat. But if you've got somebody over here adding a little bit and somebody over here, people think that's good. I got all these little people just chiming in with a little bit of advice. So that's fucking awful.
Yeah.
Because one person thinks this, the other thinks that, the other thinks this. You know, oh God, yeah. So nah, just have one source of that you trust, that you believe in.
Exactly.
I'm not saying don't look around other things, but if you're getting a chicken pie recipe and then somebody else's chicken pie recipe and you've got 5 chicken pie recipes that are all different and you try and make your own, it's probably not going to be that effective.
This goes back to what we were saying a minute ago where people might go, listen to this podcast, that fucking makes sense, yeah. Or, no, you should drink some water, do a bit of breathing, get yourself in daylight in the morning. And they're like, yeah, that's good. And someone goes, no, you shouldn't do that because science says X, Y, and Z. Then they get stuck, right? And do fuck all, thinking then that lack of knowledge needs to know more.
But while we're on this topic though, I think sometimes people think that's all it is. It's like, oh, I know what to do. Drink water, fucking give me steps and a bit of breathing and do a journal. You're like, that's transforming your life, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
They're like getting your system on point.
Yeah.
They're like the fucking non-negotiables. We give those away to people to say like, hey, it's obvious, isn't it? Get outside, get out in the fucking nature, drink some water.
Yeah, exactly.
Move a little bit, meet some people, basics. But actually, I think people think that's what you do in our kind of line of work. Oh, you teach people to do that and keep them accountable. No, mate. Not one iota. That's like base. Then we're moving people into specific skills and upgrades that you just ain't getting on a podcast. You just ain't getting on this podcast, listen to us, and you just ain't getting on a social media post. It just don't exist. No. If someone said to me, Si, I want to build my business. I want it to be multi-million pounds. I'm going to do it by following little people on social media. I've got no business experience whatsoever. I'd be looking at them thinking, oh, mate, you need to like work with somebody. Like, you'd understand that you probably need help. And otherwise you're trying to piece together all this stuff from shitty bits of information everywhere. Yeah. The same, but we treat ourselves like we're like, that's not more complex.
Exactly.
It's fucking much more complex.
Yeah.
It's this thing that's fighting back all the time. When you think about it, it doesn't want to change one iota, the mind or the body. It's fighting back at you in a way. So it's like 100% having some form of skill, progression and guide has to be.
Especially this day. Well, how the fuck have we got this far?
The more information comes in, the more information is irrelevant to me. I said this, we were walking up the road and I said, just give our best information to anyone. Yeah, have it all. Have everything we know about flow and performance. Have it all. Because guess what? Integrating it where the magic is. Don't fucking get paid for what you know, mate. You get paid for what you can do. And integration is where the skill is. But people confuse, I'm learning loads here. It's like, but how are you integrating that into your life?
Instead of feeding the insecurity of thinking you need to know more.
And that's what coaching is and training is like integration. People is to help integrating it.
Yeah.
And that is time and nuance and conversation and figuring out what people are.
Forever evolving.
Yeah.
Bang on, my man.
And that's what I pay for in my life. I don't pay for information. I do not value information one iota. All the information I need is out there. I pay somebody to go, what information do I need and how do I integrate it and help me integrate it?
Well, I think all in all, it's all right me saying I've turned up for a mum and all that stuff, but it was skillful. You didn't do it by trying harder, did you? No, not at all. But, integrating good boundaries, finding appropriate levels of care, prioritizing the energy, habits and routines.
So tell me more about that.
With what?
Tell me more about overcare. How did you adjust your levels of care?
Well, I think in them situations, it's easy to get into overcare, undercare. And to understand, if you're listening, what do you mean by overcare, undercare? A good example you taught me was I love someone so much, overcare. They're not doing what they need to be doing. Now I don't give a fuck, I don't care. You know? So we see it all the time. My awareness around that was number one. So there's obviously situations where you just get sucked in. Yeah, people taking a piss, mum doing things that wasn't right, people not showing up, things not going our way. You know, all these issues where it was having the understanding of my belief and my standards and also my boundaries, where it was like, I ain't gonna go home and worry about this shit. What's that gonna do? That takes a level of training to have the capacity to do that. To be able to put something down instead of carrying this baggage. And that come through the evolution of making mistakes and getting things wrong and trying things out and it not working. For example, if your mum's ill, you want to be there every minute of the day. That can't be done. So there was points where I was like, I'll win my mum, but I need to be at home. Then I'm at home and I feel like I need to be with my mum. And I think I'd gone away with you. We were doing some stuff and a couple of my brothers weren't about. So there was friends and set family members that hadn't been about for a while saying, hey, you know, we can help. So I said, well, let's call upon him. Mum needs the support. It's a different couple of faces. One of the particular girls had been through cancer herself. She's as tough as nails like my mum. It'd be great to get that around her. Because my mum come a bit embarrassed. She was so independent, and to become dependent on people, that was a shift. There was so many, imagine changing your entire life. And, you know, it's so hard that.
Well, someone who's so independent.
Yeah, exactly. And not going work, which was obviously the point there was probably things that was haunting my mum, but in work, they were silenced, but now you got more time to think, confined to four walls. She come obsessed with Friends. You know what I mean? She never watched Friends in her life, like, and we're just trying to...
What a good thing to be obsessed with.
Yeah, exactly. She watched every fucking... It haunts me now when I see that bastard, but the point being is, there was obviously... They took the piss. Somehow they thought it was a good idea to give my mum a drink. Although she was asking for it, my mum's responsible. So I get back, I'm like, what the fuck? Everyone knew the terms and conditions. We didn't ask you to come here and change anything. My mum's asking us to do one thing. You're doing the opposite. You know what I mean? It was like this battle of like, wow. It was the retreat. And I remember going, I just need to put this down. We had the retreat, got around good people, parked it up, didn't even entertain it. Come back to the option, I'm like, right, I need to deal with this now. And I was truthful and honest with the whole family. And in a way that the only thing you could say is you can't say that. I'm like, well, it's the truth. I ain't coming back here trying to make this personal. I ain't coming back here trying to make it anything else but the truth. X, Y, and Z. You need to take accountability for that. That's on you. You have to live with it. But in terms of where we're going forward now, here's how it works. You have to be supervised. I was still being reasonable. Yeah? I can't have you going and put my mum in a vulnerable position, because the issue is, you start having a drink now, we have to deal with the aftermath. But the fact is that she couldn't go away the next day, where we'd planned to go to the beach with her grandkids, like, where's grandma? Because you thought it was appropriate.
Why couldn't she go?
Because she was hungover and felt like shit. She felt worse aware where she could. But we're saying to her, if you want to live like this, then smoke and drink until the wheels fall off. You just got to tell us what you want to do.
Yeah.
So this was a frustration that we were my mum's servants, you know. We was at our disposal. But we definitely want our slaves.
Those situations, overcare should be nourishing for...
Of course.
Both parties, shouldn't it?
To a degree.
It's like a kid. It's like, if I care about you, is this really good for you? Or is this about... Overcare is often about us, not the person we're caring about.
Yeah, even undercare, isn't it? Because you don't get what you want.
Yeah,
but
spot on.
The point being is, I had the ability to go, parking that up. I ain't just sharing from the wound, I'm going to share from the scar, right? Having that space, getting it out, round good people, doing my thing, coming back, getting clear. There was things in the message I was like, this is personal. No, I don't want to play the victim. Understanding a victim card, understanding entitlement, making sure I'm in a good headspace.
So a lot of awareness helps you.
Of course.
A lot of awareness of your own patterns and behaviour.
Exactly. But then skillfully be able to go, okay, where are we at? So then I'm like, all right, boys, it's good. Shit's gone sideways, but where could have we done better? It's where the journaling part comes in. So I'm asking the question, what's happened here? And it was really convenience. We've gone, it's convenient just to palm this off on someone else. It makes sense because we're under pressure. I've got shit to do. We've not thought about it, bang. But what happened was, out of the birth of this and speaking to my council, my table, my aunties and stuff on the other side of my family, someone, you know, I deem as close as a mother, I'm like, it's like, maybe probably need a bit of a schedule. I was like, fucking, I'm running on an elite schedule in here. So I was like, this makes sense. So now I've come in, got this big old whiteboard, mapped it out, said, right, Every 2 hours, bam, 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 bam. When the carer's in, who's coming in? And instantly what that did was going, I'm good. These are hours I can commit to this thing. Then I'm going at home feeling better now because I know where I'm at and it didn't feel as loose. Yeah, plan. Exactly. People try to live life like this. It's insane. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Understanding that time is the most important asset that we have. Makes sense that we need to make sure how we invest in it. So it was little things like that. There was times where I was like, a lot of things on your mind, brain dump, journal them out, get them out, keeping on point with my routines.
So a big part for you was getting out of your head.
Yeah, always. Sometimes feeling fully with some of the skills that we've got, right? It's fucking, I'm feeling agitated, I'm feeling this. Breath work was so essential through all this. Talk about breath work, I was doing it so unorthodox. Do you know what I mean? I'm breathing in the car before I'm going from this role to that role. I'm doing it on the way to being with my family, being in business, having to deal with consultants, doctors, situations with my mum. You know what I mean? There was a lot of traumatic things. There was a time when my mum's having a fit and the nurse is going, you have to give her the anesthesia medicine. I'm looking at her like, are you for real? So I squirt this stuff in my mum's mouth. Like, what happened there? She's like, we're not authorized to do it. I was like, are you fucking insane? And it's not the doctor's fault. The nurse, she's like, I know, Ben. She said, let me tell you this. If your man fell off the couch, I cannot touch her. I said, so what are you here for? She's like, well, we just have to, and bless every one of these carers, nurses. My heart goes out to them. Honestly, they're different people because they generally have to give a shit about humanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They actually, because every nurse, everyone that was involved with my mum were heartbroken. And that's not just special to my mum. It must be all the people that, the patients, to the point some of them come to the funeral. Mate, do you know what he was? My mum's funeral was filmed. They're not filmed, live streamed, and it was people from Saudi Arabia watching in.
That's mad.
It's fucked up, innit? The woman come, like, heartbroken, wanted to touch her face. Listen, I'm such a buddy. I remember thinking, what's that woman called? I was looking through her messages, I found her. And the reason why she loved me mum, because she was just straight talking. Your husband's been cheating, I'll fuck him. Get rid of him, you're better than that. Yeah, do you know that type of shit?
I can imagine.
She never heard this in that Asian community.
Yeah, fuck him, get him from there.
Do you think people in that community going, get rid of the man, he'll probably get fucking done in? But she was like, no, fuck him. Get rid of him. So when she was telling me this, I was like, that's my mum all over. Listen, it's the only time someone crying in front of her mum nearly got me to say is like, she was in bits. And one of the reasons why she loved me mum was she done a massive fundraise for her son, who had a brain tumour, funny enough, and it had tilted his head. It had completely done something.
How was the boy now?
Oh, he's passed away. But my mum done a fundraiser, but my mum done something to get his head straight. I don't know what she did, and he got a picture, and this was just like fucking, a blessing to him. And she'd message her every day, good morning, I appreciate, we're blessed and all that. The message would just, and my mum would never message back. She just
you forgot. You told me this, so...
Yeah, so I forgot, and I texted his mum, and next minute she's up at the house.
Because you said, she's dead, unfortunately.
Yeah, I said, sorry, I thought I'd reach out and let you know, and then the phone went dead, didn't it? And she'd thought I'd just like turned off the phone, got back, charged it. She'd tried phoning like 50 times. There was loads of messages. I got hold of her. She'd come, and you could just say it was heartfelt. She was stroking her face, you know what I mean? And she's like, look, everybody back home knows who she is. I mean, this woman's over here on her own. She lost a kid, she lost her husband, she's got another child. Respect to these women, they're just fierce warriors. But it was those characteristics, it was that heart that my mum's seen, you know what I mean? Other, people at her level, fucking people robbing from Asda, forget security, it's my mum shoving them out. I'll get my sons and that. I mean, you can't keep going around saying you're going to get your sons and everybody who's fucking thieving from Asda, mum, when you're knocking back all the prices, you know what I mean? Go on, 50p lads feeding everybody. Okay, now.
Mate, hey, who didn't do that? I used to love that. Simon, why is that steak £1.99? I don't fucking know. I'm on
I know. She used to do it, or we used to call her as the price, because Fran price it was, because she'd come home and go, Mum, why should you pay for that? Funny enough, we'd just been on a camping trip, right? And Lisa goes, I think the weather's looking a bit shit. You remember that gazebo that your mum knocked down to about 20p? It's on the shed, you want to bring that? I was howling. Anyway, we brought it in the end because we needed it. And we're like, good old Fran, fucking rolling shit back.
Bless. Mate, it's been a long journey for you.
Well, then Been
a long journey. But I think...
That's just my mum, mate. It's been a long year.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, though, most of the people that come into our line of work, something's happened, something's happening. One of the easy things to say is, hey, look, I need to wait until things calm down before I can do something like this, and I'm never one to push them. If someone reaches out, maybe now's not the right time. I'm stressed out my box, and it's so easy from the outside to say,
no, it is.
Oh, mate, this is the time. How are things ever going to change? Because we think there's always something. If you'd said, I'll just wait until all this is over, you'd imagine how you'd have been, what capacity you'd have had to deal with your mum dying and the next steps. And that's what we're doing through life. We push back, working, like trying to help ourselves. We keep pushing it back until the end of the chaos, but we don't realize that actually a huge amount of the chaos is being driven from how we're feeling. And so it's push back, push back.
Pull out another bullet.
Push back. Yeah, and it's like flipping hell. Like there needs to be a time but when you're in it, it's so difficult because you just can't fathom how it you think it's gonna be more work or take more time, don't you?
Yeah,
I've been there where you think, no, I can't do this right now. It's too much.
Yeah, it's a justification.
I'm too busy to fucking slow down kind of thing, It's like people who will say, I ain't got time to plan my fucking week, I'm too busy. You're like,
that's fucking why you're too busy.
A bit of a clue there, mate. Maybe plan your week and get organised, you might not be so busy. Or, I can't fucking, I'm too tired to go to the gym.
Well, that's why you should go
Probably why you should go to the gym, mate. It's like you got to go first. You got to bite the bullet.
Bang on, mate.
But that's what you've done, innit? But you've walked into that situation skilled. Imagine how destructive it would have been if you had that situation in your life 5 years ago.
Nah, it would have been self-destruct, Especially with people taking the piss and the way it went on. I don't know. I've been able... It's bang on what you said there, is there's so much stress in the world that it's actually a misunderstanding that trying to do more of that is going to change it. I couldn't affect anything that was going on. What was going to happen was going to happen. But I hijacked it in some way, like we teach most of the people that we coach. All that stress was there, all that weight was there. I just need to make sure that I prioritize me. And when I say me, your energy, your recovery, I didn't slip into bad habits. I was aware like shit, I'm not finding the appropriate level here. My sleep was on point. I try and keep my routines. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't pretty, but it was progress and it dealt with it. And then funny enough, when we're speaking, we track our stuff on the O-ring, and I'm obviously just doing my thing, and the all my stats are getting tracked. And then I got time to reflect on that, thinking, what the fuck? Then the stats actually show me the reason why I perform so well. So in that whole dilemma, as the O-ring maps out, it puts you in a quadrant in your performance, right? High stress, high recovery, low stress, low recovery, low stress, high recovery, low stress, low recovery.
A bit like a
Eisenhower, yeah. Well, I seen through the majority of this situation with my ma, I was in low stress, high recovery. Explain that. Like,
you're recovering really hard.
Massively. My HRV was on point. To be fair, my sleep was on point. That was probably the key element in this. You know what I mean? There was nothing jeopardizing my PM routine. That was the one thing. It was just, it was a non-negotiable. Sometimes in the morning, it'd be a bit groggy, wake up. Sometimes I'd skip set things, but I was so well invested in myself that I had money to spend. I had a good account of energy, right? But then this bizarre thing happened. I would have never known this. It shifted. My mum died in our arms, and it was late. Went through into the morning. And then you have to wait for for it to get picked up. It ain't a pretty sight, you know what I mean? And it ended up just being me and my brothers there, probably what we needed. But fucking me and my, we were resilient, she's made something there that's special. And together in what we went through, I think there's been even a stronger relationship bonded and more understanding and more respect, because how we fucking conducted ourselves through that and what people got to witness, I know was inspired and impacts people in a way that is a credit to me mum. But that day, the battery had gone, and plus I had a late night. But I got it back on by the Saturday night. And then I've seen within like the next 13, 14 days that I was in high stress, high recovery. I didn't feel any different. I didn't notice anything subtle.
But the room was still consistent. System was
fucking
in high
Monday
stress.
morning, I'm still in yoga. Over the weekend, I still recovered effectively. My phone was off for 2 days. I just wanted to be around my family, my daughter, my kids. And, the day after my mum died, I got My brother's there, everyone to my house. We grieved, we let the kids do their things. We had a bit of a laugh and a cry. I just thought that'd be important. So it was time out, you know what I mean? And protecting my energy at all cost. But obviously something was going on, the trauma. I've just lost my mum. There's a connection between a mother and child like there isn't between, you know, a dad and a child. It's just that mother nature shit, whatever it is. And obviously me, from a science point of view, my nervous system felt that. From a real point of view, my heart was broken. But I was consistent still. It didn't go, oh, fuck it, I'll have a week off and all that shit. My fucking showing up. I was still, Thursday after, it was 2 Thursdays back in, was cracking on, yeah? Because that shit made me feel good. As much as me turning up in Unbreakable and doing all the stuff I was doing what I love. I was doing what gives me purpose, passion, meaning, you know, showing up.
Which
I couldn't be a hypocrite.
Thing about life in general, isn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't be a hypocrite. You know, talking about it in the world, my beliefs, my identity, my thoughts, my feelings, like they were in alignment. And it's just fascinating, and hopefully Mark can show it on the video, is that it shifts over and then comes back round like a bit of a circle to then low stress, low recovery, and then comes back straight across into the top left quadrant of high stress, high recovery. I didn't notice any of that until about 2 or 3 weeks later on. And then the day after actually my mum died, my auntie's come and she started talking about Zimbabwe, going to do the safari.
Yeah, you went to the safari.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck.
But the key, one thing you're trying to say from that though is, you obviously had that big grief response and your system kicked into like, okay, I'm high stress now, high recovery. And then you went high stress, low stress, low recovery. So it came back round sort of saying, okay, I'm not particularly stressed, but I'm still not recovering that well.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like kicking back round.
Yeah.
And you can see it, can't you? Because you showed it me.
Yeah.
But that comes from a place of you providing your system with the space and the stimulus and everything it needed.
But remember what I've shown you the following few weeks, and I was saying, look, I think that recovery comes at a bit of a lag. Me and you need to deep dive on this a little personally, but remember, I just seen then 2 or 3, 4 weeks of some of the best sleep, of some of the best heart HRVs through the day. I was having big recovery time. It's recovery, you know, the green bars that come up on the days. I'd never had consistent performance like that. I felt great. So there's this whole thing of
your nervous system's got stronger for.
Well, this is my point, right?
Yeah.
Many people think that they're stressed. They need to do more shit to get out of stress. And the reason why people get quick results is because we come in and go, if anything, what we're specialists in is fucking getting people to recover effectively in it. Get out of burnout, reset the nervous system, clear the mind, fucking get good energy, some good routines. Then we can start playing ball at what you want to do. Then we can start thinking about how you're going to access attitudes, modes, behaviors, whatever. So it's that adaptation, like the analogy of the gym. You go to the gym, you put stress on the body, acute stress, cool. Nothing happens in the gym. Recovery takes place, you got adaptation. So I think from you could say a spiritual point of view, an energetic point of view, physically, emotionally and mentally, that whole game played out because no matter how much of this stress was happening, I was matching it with the recovery. And this is where then I started like, man, I'm feeling great. I'm getting clearer. Me worldview has changed. My values have changed a little.
The stuff you were doing through your mum being ill was just keeping you in the game.
Of course.
You were probably, you know, it was like, fuck me, like you had a big chronic stressor and you were like, okay, the recovery is keeping me in the game.
Yeah.
Then you had a big peak of acute stress. My mum's died, you know, it's really acute,
natural,
isn't it?
Yeah, natural as it can be.
And you probably just, you know, like you said, you were having people around, you were busy, so you went into a bit of low recovery, didn't you?
Yeah.
But then through getting back on it and recovering effectively and getting in,
your system started to I didn't really stop anything. Like I was still.
You added a bit more. You sound like you had a few.
But it was just more weight than getting lifted, innit? And then sometimes at that point, what I would say, if it was using the analogy of training, I repped out. I'd rep that weight out and I had to put the fucking down.
Yeah, you did your 1 rep max.
Yeah.
You did your 1 rep max.
Did worse than my singing
like,
that.
I'm failure to failure. Yeah. That's it now. That's when you get stuck in the gym and go, yeah, these fucking dumbbells are going that way, aren't they?
Yeah,
I can't push these up.
Exactly. I took it to failure.
Boom.
That's exactly the good point to put. I took it to failure.
Yeah.
And put the fucking thing down. And then bang, adaptation.
A few protein shakes.
The growth, all that come from it. And that's where it's been at. And as you know, then I go Zimbabwe, get a real fucking eye opener there, something that...
Zimbabwe's another podcast, mate.
Oh, we'll have to do it another time.
We've done an hour and 25 minutes.
Have we, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you looking at the camera for? You're supposed to look at the camera.
It's behind me.
That's the
timer's behind me.
Oh, is it? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Mark, are we good? Should we go another 30 minutes or should we wrap it up?
We're wrapping it up and wrapping it up takes fucking 30 minutes.
Fair enough.
You're wrapping it up. You wrap it up.
Hey,
you wrap
let's,
it up. You wrap it up.
Fuck it. Let me throw the question to you. What have you heard me say? What's been some light bulb moments for you?
Well,
because you've been through me for all this, and I appreciate that, man.
I suppose, yeah, number one, what have I heard you say just then? You said a lot, didn't you? I think
if you had three bullets.
I think it was important for you to piece that together verbally for yourself.
All right, the first time, mate.
No, but I think I could see you piecing it together. You had to say what you just said.
You fucking asked me a question.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't just answer it once.
Well,
I said, what did you get from it? And
you're telling me about me. Oh yeah, you need it. I'm not about you, mate. Come on, stop being around the bush.
No. What I mean is, what I took from it is like you were piecing that together still. Like tying the timeline. So what I took from that was, I think, the ability to find narrative around our life's events is
powerful, important.
You got to create the narrative, haven't you? You got to weigh that. I can see you're creating narrative through all of that. You're like, and this happened, and then this happened. You're piecing together these little memories, and you've probably pieced them together 1,000 times. But through it, you're finding your own narrative. It's like that analogy of like the filing cabinet that people use. Like when something traumatic happens, it's like a file that gets broken up everywhere in your filing cabinet. That's what happened. And you've just gone through over the course of the last 6 months, say, roughly 6 months, isn't it? And gone, let me order this back up. Let me find some narrative. Let me remember it. Let me piece it together. Let me put this away neatly in my mind. That's what...
Starting with the end.
Yeah, and I think that's what people do. And I think that's what we're trying to do. And that's what... It's hard when we can't find meaning and narrative in what our life's events. Because you can't make... It's like, everyone's like, what's the meaning of things? It's like, well, it's what you give it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's what you decide to give it. Because we're always giving things meanings. But I think unless you do that work of trying to piece together the experiences of your life and tidy them up, and they just infiltrate. But that's what you were doing. Like, that's what I was taking from it. Yeah, you're like, he's piecing this together and creating narrative around all these little memories.
That's so well rehearsed for me as well, because that's how I map it out, So
that's probably what you didn't expect me to say, but that's what I was listening, thinking, Ben's piecing this together. He's pieced it together a million times, but as he's talking out loud, I'm seeing you go, and this happened, and I was thinking this, and then me, auntie, and this, and this happened. You're like, Ben's creating... He's laying out a narrative in his mind.
Nice.
Which for me, I was following it along, like that. If it was visual. Because I've heard some of it before as well, haven't I? Because I've just been talking to you.
Yeah.
It's not as if we haven't spoken, is it?
No.
So it was just piecing it together. And I was just thinking, God, he's done a good job of trying to find context.
That's a good point.
In what's been happening in his life, rather than just going, fuck, it's just happening. You're like, no, what? And you've you've done that through skill and through practices of getting it down on paper and probably weighing it up, rather than just letting it happen. It's like, it's all happening to me. I think where you've described that, it's happened to you, but you've also taken what's coming at you and gone, okay, boom, this is what I think it means, and this is what I'm going to do. And the second thing, I think, all the basic stuff. You've recovered fucking hard and prioritized yourself, and takes grit to do that. People think grit is hammering through, toughing it out. The grit to recover is just as important, because we never got time, have we? You have bigger fish to fry. You're probably too tired, too stressed, too angry, too pissed off, too fucking annoyed with life, frustrated, sad to do anything, but you've done it. It takes grit. People are fucked because we haven't got the resilience to grit out recovery. It's easy to stay in the chaos.
Yeah.
It takes grit to come out of chaos and go, I'm going to get out of chaos for a minute.
Yeah, keep composure.
Because fucking chaos is addictive.
Yeah, big time.
So obviously all the stuff you spoke about there is really important. And I think people need to hear that, because every time people get, not every time, but a huge amount of people who get in touch with me, you think you need to do something. No, now's not the right time. Not even buying. I don't mean buying things. I just mean like, you probably should slow. No, I ain't got time to do that. You're like, and it's not because they're dismissing what you're saying. It's because we're in a chaos and we can't get out, but we've got to. So I've heard that. That's really important. I suppose what I also have heard is how important it is to celebrate other people's lives, but also, our own. You're obviously quite proud of what you've done.
Fucking too right, man.
You're proud of your kids, and you're like, it's made us stronger. But stress is hugely perspective driven. The way you view stress will either will make it useful or not. So if you keep the perspective like, this is going to fucking crucify our kids and what are they going to do? That's going to stress you the fuck out. That's going to stress out. But if you're like, nah, come on, let's help them do this. And you brought a different perspective to it, which allowed you to use the stress to grow. I've taken that. I mean, that's three pretty good things. But I think,
are you happy with them bullets, Mark?
But I think the main thing...
Mark talking anymore now,
No, I've just said he's fucking mute over there.
Oh, right, okay.
But, that's important. And I think getting around people and... Emma's just been in here talking a bit. It's funny, we've been talking about death a lot today. Fucking death. Death is it's all fucking death around here. But you know what I mean? It's like, we were talking a bit about it, and it's clarifying qualities. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very true, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very clarifying. It's very black or white. Fuck, someone's dead. And then it's like, that's going to happen to me. Fuck. We forget.
Yeah.
Then we start looking at your time and thinking, am I doing what I want to be doing? Am I living how I want to be living? Oh, maybe I'm not. Oh, we think we've got forever.
Fucking
But we don't have forever.
Not at all.
We've got forever to sort our shit out. Maybe we haven't. And that's either depressing or motivating. I don't know what the fuck it is. Again, it's perspective. You might go, oh God, I can't cope with this. I'm wasting my life. Or we could say, fuck, I'm wasting my life. That's different, isn't it? It's different. I'm wasting my life. Oh, or fucking hell, I'm wasting my life here. What am I going to do about it?
Get a bit of sense of urgency.
Urgency. There's immediacy. That's what I was trying. You've got me on the right train.
That's what it's done for me. Death has always done that. It's always like had the reverse effect because I accept that, death is going to be here, but what's worth dying? Try to tiptoe your way to death or not fucking living.
What's that quote? Something along the lines of, I can't think. I've struggled to think on two quotes today. It's something around the line, it's about life, and basically we actually live life when we realise we're fucking going to die. That's when you wake up and start living, when you accept that fact.
Yeah.
I think out of all of this is that how far am I willing to push away my goals, my dreams, my problems? How far will I push them until there's no road left to push them?
Yeah. Fuck.
Like we're running out of road. And you're like, oh, fucking hell, I can't push this away anymore. Wish I'd have dealt with this. Wish I'd have gone for this. Time's running out. But that's this real sobering point, isn't it?
Well, it's a truthful point, isn't it? And that's again.
Another thing I took, while you're in, I think Jordan Peterson said one of the best aims a young man can have is to be the most responsible person at his dad's funeral. He says a lot of stuff like those lines. So I probably ad-libbed it, but it was definitely, Mark's pretty much consumed strongest. He's consumed all. So there you go. And so you're like, I've always thought, that's not a bad aim, is it?
And I would say strength isn't just internal. It's also external because, my brothers, my family, my wife, a big part in this and helping me get through it. My kids, the way they showing up, seeing the strength in them, seeing the strength in my mum, the way she went through this was just like, fuck it, no. I soaked all that shit up. Strengthen my strength and my strength their strength, you know what I mean? And we've got to remember strength isn't an individual thing.
No, you also say another thing you had is you've had great people around you.
Oh man, yeah.
And I think that's important. You're stronger in numbers.
Big time.
And I think you can only do so much on your own.
Yeah.
You have to have other people around.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think again, we like to think we can just navigate life and deal with our struggles on our own.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anyone who has done that effectively.
Fucking
And
hell.
if they think they have, it's very often I think they underestimate how much people have helped them.
Yeah. Like there's no
like-
self-made millionaire, is there?
Well, yeah, or even just getting through shit. Well, I'll get through it all on my own. It's like, well, you did. No, actually,
That's avoidance.
maybe you've just not acknowledged. Maybe you need to go back and acknowledge people that have helped you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it was just a kind word or a little leg up, or actually maybe they fucking helped you. Maybe they need a bit of, and you just go, I did it on my own. It's like, man, very few people, even if you are on your own, have done things on their own.
Did you get that, Mark? What? Say that again.
Well, if you're on your own in life, it's very easy to say I've done everything on my own. But actually, just because you're on your own doesn't mean you've done things on your own. There's a lot of people on the way who've probably helped you in some way or provided something.
Yeah, bang
It
on.
may not have been a constant individual
Yeah.
or individuals around you all the way. But as you're traveling, I'm sure other people have impacted your life in many ways,
Big time. Vice versa, right?
and helped and nudged. And you're like, oh, maybe I haven't acknowledged that fact. And maybe it needs acknowledging. Because I think sometimes you do get people, I've said that, people go, no, fuck me, I've been fucking nothing, all on my own, I've fucking dragged myself up. And you're like, okay. I know very few people who have had no assistance from anyone, even if it was just one key moment in their life. So listening, Ben, I pulled all those things and everyone wants to talk about fucking death to me today, which is great. But
I look forward to listening to Emmers. I want to listen to Emmers.
no, I think it's crucial. And it's good to have you back in the seat.
Oh, mate, it's good to be
We're gonna
back.
next time we're on, we'll be talking about your safari.
To the concrete, no, it's from the concrete jungle to the real jungle.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking
Fucking hell.
about Ben's safari. Everyone, Ben went on safari, came back fucking honey badgered up.
Hey, that's a key giveaway. You're going to hear about the honey badger.
Ben's
That's
spirit
a bad
animal is a
idea.
honey badger. Vicious little
He
fucker.
doesn't give a fuck, mate. He doesn't get... Imagine that. What animal are you? Thinking lion. Honey badger. What the fuck's a honey badger? And I'm like, okay, no, I
You were
get it.
gutted, weren't you?
No.
You were there beating your chest. Honey badger. What? Fucking badger.
Yeah. And then I realise what honey badger is. I'm like, yeah,
Badgers
it's
are
spot
little,
on.
now, even the badgers we have around here, they're vicious little fuckers,
you
mate.
know-
Powerful little things.
One of the members at the retreat bumped into one.
Yeah.
See the picture?
Tim, yeah, badger, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I walk
Yeah.
around a golf course, badgers everywhere.
Really?
Can't do anything with them, can they?
And he big old, he looks all right. lump, mate. He had
big
a
lumps.
chest on it.
Badgers are big old lumps, mate. If you
Yeah.
come across one of them, like,
Going to the same
you're
gym as
in a
you.
car, mate. You're causing problems to your car.
Me, I'm a honey badger. Maybe you're a badger with that chest. Look at that
Black,
chest.
maybe I've got the
I know. Have you passed that
black
shit on
and
to
white
me?
beard. I've got the badger
Hey, I'm
beard.
getting his white line. Is it like wisdom? Is it wisdom line?
Yeah, I'm getting old. But badgers they're fucking big things. You don't realise, they are. But you can't do anything with them.
Didn't you care if you fucking hit one?
Mate, you
I don't know. I can imagine how many of you hit. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, if
You,
you,
you hit shit like that. You got foxes where we're from. You're getting fucking badgers.
You're driving on a golf cart.
In a caddy.
I can do what I like, but they can't touch them, can they? But of course, people say you can't touch badgers, but you find them loads dead on the road, haven't been hit by a car. People just fucking throw them on the road.
Hey, can you play golf?
I can now. I'm fucking playing 9 holes every twilight, aren't I?
Are you?
Nah, I'm not. No, but
Come on, should we go piss off the whole fucking
no, I'm not.
clubhouse and go and have a go on that field?
But that field is a course.
Course. Is that what they call it? A course? It's like a footy pitch out.
Yeah,
I love going on them with my dog. I know it
honestly think
pisses them off.
sometimes.
That bat.
Yeah.
I did the other night. I thought, oh, bollocks. Walked out my gate, put the ball down. I thought I'm having a smack down here.
You're looking flashy here. Go on, lad.
Off the 12 tee, I thought we'll see how we go. Wasn't great.
No.
Wasn't great. So
Well,
they
at
probably
least-
thought there's freaking 3 balls down here. What are they doing down here? But wasn't great. Then again, I watched some of the people playing. I'm like, I can't be no worse than you. I'm not actually that bad at golf.
One of our guys is fucking shit hot, isn't it?
Ashley.
yeah.
Yeah, Celeste.
What is it? Celeste Pro. Yeah.
Pro golf, yeah.
What is like pars? What do you call it? Par? Like 2.
Mate, I need to take you to a golf club. I'd love to see
Yeah.
you there. What is this? Fucking give me that bounce. What do I
like
do
Happy
then?
Gilmore.
You'll be like Happy Gilmore. What's the
I know.
point then? Smash it down there?
Yeah.
Is it? Keep it fucking on the field. Yeah. Half time.
4.
All I hear is 4 off that tee. 4 left, 4
Hey,
right.
they'd be wounded if I just went. I told you I went to a driving range. Guy gave me a finger, just went whoosh. He looked at me and he said, do that again. Whoosh. Mate, I must have hit it about 4 or 5 times to the point he's got some of his guys over and he didn't look happy. You know, he's like, you ever done this before? I'm like, nah.
The thing is, though, I think sometimes in golf, a bloke told me, is like, if you had to hit a fucking ball with a stick, what would you do?
Swing it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get overthinking. It's in your head and you're like, I'm thinking really hard about the swing here. And it's like piano. When I just go, I'm playing, I'm just rattling it out, I'm actually better and learn better than when I'm like in my own head, fucking analysing every kind of touch of the key. Oh, I hit the wrong key there, start again. If I hit the wrong key, carry on. Just keep carrying on. Like, just getting through it teaches me much more than... Whereas my obsessive nature is, ding, fucking I'll start from the start again. Too. Get really good at the first couple of bars, do you know what I mean?
Well, I'm like you are with fucking voice notes. I think, for fuck, start again. Yeah, I'm going to stop that shit. It's doing my nothing.
I'm not quite like that.
Hey, what was that thing that Ashley said about the putting? That's a good thing to wrap it up.
Close his eyes.
Yeah, but you just got to feel it, close your eyes.
Well, I think he said he had a lesson. He was a bit struggling with his putting. And the bloke said, well, just get set up, line it up. You know, roughly practice swing. Brilliant. Get over the ball. Close your eyes.
Just let it go.
Yeah, because it's like you get in your head, don't you? And I can see what he means, actually, because you get in your head. And it is like you create the image in your head. You know where you're putting, don't you? You don't need to keep your eye on the target.
True.
So to speak. So you got to close your eyes and just... I think just taking yourself out of the equation. Yourself. It's interesting. What is self? What is not self? You know, I'm rereading Awareness by Anthony fucking D'Amelio or whatever his name is. And he's like the difference between I and me.
I am
different.
me, no.
Or no, the difference between an I and a me.
Yeah.
And you think, it makes sense. Me is like me, I may. You know, me is like I'm a parent or your identity, stuff like that. But I is the awareness. I is the observer.
I understand.
I is not attached to that kind of stuff. We confuse I and me too much is kind of one of the points he's making, really. And a lot of problems come when we
try and identify
confuse the two.
Yeah.
Then you realise, no, you're just an awareness, you're aware.
You know, all these days, all this more than I internet is fucking so many different labels.
Well, you did say when I was quite impressed, you said, you know, and all different races come to your mum's funeral, all different genders. I was like, fucking hell. How many all different genders were at your mum's funeral?
No, none of that shit.
How many genders were there?
Fucking the only two that there is, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking simple as that.
Ben, bloody hell.
I don't even know why I said
very
gender.
diverse. Very
I meant
diverse.
to say all different ages, races, and, you know.
Creeds.
Yeah, creeds.
Fucking
fair
people.
play to her, mate. Some motherfuckers couldn't even speak English. Like, hey, but
I've got this idea. Did you have like a fucking translator? Did you have it?
Probably someone was translating.
Is it like one of them
what the fuck
Tony Robbins events where someone's on a headphone and some fucking Spanish woman doing it for them?
Honestly, people must have thought, what? Like, there's 30 motorbikes, fucking horse and carriage, funeral cars, and that part of Manchester stood still. But they're thinking, what the fuck? Who the fuck's this?
Yeah,
fair play.
Died in.
And you know what's bizarre though? When people film that shit.
Everyone films everything now, though.
Filming a funeral car with the back, a lot of people don't get to witness that, so we probably thought, what the fuck, was probably someone important, even though she was.
Our first thing is to film
everywhere, though.
Because I was always taught, if a funeral was going by and I'm walking,
just pay respect, right?
Stand still.
Yeah.
Just stand there.
Yeah.
You know, you don't walk by, you don't keep walking, you acknowledge.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't think of getting my fucking phone out.
It was.
I wouldn't find it disrespectful if somebody did that.
It's a bizarre
I'd probably
feeling
find
to
it
watch.
disrespectful if I did that. Do you know what I mean? Like if someone went, no, I'm recording and it was my funeral.
I would.
I'd be like, oh, whatever.
I'd feel disrespected. I was more like, fucking Jesus.
But I might feel myself a bit disrespectful if I was like, oh, fucking funeral, hang on. This looks like it's the husband there. Fucking get him on the camera. How you feeling, mate?
Okay, no.
Oh, he looks sad. Look at him crying. What are you going to do that tonight? Look what I saw today.
No, but you're right. People have a crash laying there dying. Motherfuckers are filming him, taking pictures and that. It's mad.
Yeah, it's
first thing you think of.
It's a conditioned behaviour. I think if you said to somebody, why are you doing that? It's waking up, isn't it? If you went, why are you doing that, mate? You might go, don't know. Yeah, exactly. Don't fucking do it. Automatic behaviour, isn't it? Boom. I often think that about myself. Why am I doing that? Why am I doing this?
Good
wake
awareness.
Up.
Good
fucking
awareness.
Wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up in that instant. What was I about? Why am I doing this? How fucking stupid is this thing I'm doing right now?
I'm going to mention what I think that is.
I'm pointless.
Why am I on this fucking site again? You're a bad man. Yeah. We'll talk about after.
I completely fucking ruined it for me. We know why I'm doing it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, but why am I doing this? Well, how stupid is this? If I could zoom out myself,
Exactly.
what am I getting from this? What am I doing this for? Why am I even thinking of this? On that note, mate, we've been an hour and 45. It's been a blast to have you back. This episode was all about your mum, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. What was her full name?
Frances Marianne Fanning.
What?
Frances Marianne.
Marianne.
Yeah.
Marianne.
Bless
Frances Marianne Fanning. Well, you've done a pride, mate. Done yourself pride. Very
Respect.
inspirational to witness as you were doing it. And it's nice to see you piecing it all together. Still, I think you'll keep piecing it together. That must be something that someone pieces together for a long time.
Yeah, of course, because you can revisit it and learn something new in it. But I do see it as something that it's not a loss, even though we've lost my mum. Strangely enough, I feel like I feel her more than ever before, you know what I mean? Sorry, just before we end this.
This is why we can't wrap anything up, Ben.
Remember the song, I Can See Clearly? The second verse of that was just like, my auntie phoned me saying, Ben, that was definitely her. She sent me that song. It's like she was singing to me. So listen to the second verse for the people that are gone. And you'll probably relate to that as well.
I'll try to remember it now.
I can't remember it, but it's just like, you know, now all the pain's gone, you can see it, you know, all the hate, all the pain, fucking. That's probably what my mum needed, just to be at rest. Done a job, lived a tough life, a good life, and that's what made it a great life. And I think if you can pass with the legacy of impacting other people's lives, but at the same time doing your best to pivot them in a better direction, as you say, especially being a parent, that is the ultimate achievement. No matter fucking leaving a house behind or money, whatever, ever come close to that shit.
I think the ultimate, I don't know, it's up to you, whatever the individual wants, but I just think one of the best things is just getting your shit together yourself.
Remember, don't forget yourself, whatever the fuck you do.
Don't forget yourself. All right, mate. Thank you. It's been a blast. So much so I only drank a tiny bit of my water.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Peace.